Is there some context where you want to have a difference? For example, is there some outcome you want in business or financially that you haven't got yet? Or maybe there's a result that you'd really like to get a lot faster. I know for me, getting results faster is a great idea, provided the results are still solid and thorough. It may well be that there are different results you want to get in the health and fitness context or in terms of emotions. Sometimes I chat with people and they want to learn how to change their states of mind. They may find they have problematic patterns of emotions. Maybe they feel depressed or anxious or lacking motivation, and they would like to feel motivated, really be in the flow, in the zone, and they really want to be able to have those states regularly. Or it may well be it's like in a relationship context, you find that your interaction with people, you'd like to get even better results. You might like to be more influential or have a greater sense of knowing your value and communicating clearly with other people. Whatever it might be for you, it can be worthwhile as you watch this video to the end to have a context in mind that you would like to transform your experience and results. And what we're going to go through is a real general approach that you can use for any of those different contexts that may be important for you. And it's a real interesting concept. And it's interesting in a sense that it's not really done out there. And yet once you get it, you'll go, of course, this makes complete sense. So I'm curious what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to send the questions in. I love answering questions and love to be able to help you to begin to apply this kind of a concept. And if you have questions about, how would you do it? Love to answer those questions. And anything like that, once you get a new idea, the sense is to take some time, rather than, kind of discarding it at hand, to be open to it and really I like to get a sense where you can begin to think, hey, how can I use this idea? In what context could I apply this? And that's what I'm really passionate about. So I'd love to chat with you. If you have questions, send them through. So we mentioned the idea, I'm going to draw a graph. This graph is going to be very boring, but it's not actually. It's a really exciting graph, but some people find statistics boring. I studied statistics at university. It wasn't my favorite subject, I'm not going to lie, but it's actually had some benefit as well. The benefit, let me explain to you. So let's say we draw like this. And that's X bar. That means the mean or the average. And if we draw like this, a curve, it's called a bell curve, right? And if we look at, you notice that this kind of hump here of the bell is in the middle, and we could say this is the domain of average performers in some context. Now, what doesn't matter what the context is, whether it's business performance, making money, playing golf, coaching people, I don't know, whatever the context is, right? Cooking, whatever the context is, you'll notice that most people are around average, if that makes sense. It's about right. And then on the end of it, we have what are called outliers. And they tend to be, now this side, this side here is, let's just call this extremely average. We won't really spend much time in there. That makes sense? But however, in this side, this is genius on this side. This is top performers. You guys probably can't read this, and I'll actually correct that. But you get that says genius and top performers. So genius and top performers, what you'll notice is they often in statistics, you may delete the outliers because they skew the distribution too much. They're anomalies. Does that make sense? That to me is a crime of like biblical proportion. These are the ones we want. The anomalies are the interesting things. Does that make sense? So the anomalies here, this is of genius and top level performers. That's what I'm fascinated about. That's what I want to train you guys in over the next 3 days. So this here, this is where the patterns belong. This is where NLP has been focused for, I don't know, since the 70s. It's all about top level performers, patterns of excellence and genius level performers. That's what we're going for. And NLP, what we're talking about and where the patterns have been drawn from is an epistemology. And epistemology is a study of how we know what we know and how we do what we do. So NLP is both an epistemology and a methodology. What do I mean by that?
It's a study of human knowing and human doing with a particular focus on these patterns of excellence. How does somebody, for example, have you ever thought, like, how does somebody who's like amazing at making money and running a business, what's the difference between that person in their states of mind? What's the differences in their stories and their beliefs? What's the difference in their strategies compared to someone who's a top performer and someone who's average? That's really interesting to me, right? What's the difference in like somebody who is unbelievable at singing? How do they organize their neurology? How do they organize their breathing? How do they organize their deep physiology? Do they even have beliefs in that state? How do they do it? And maybe what's the difference when you compare them? So difference is like a non-substantial kind of phenomena, which is a comparative thing, right? You can't have difference without comparison. So difference is a key concept in a way, a core kind of a concept we're going to go through. What's the difference between somebody in the field that you would like to dominate in, that you'd like to really succeed in? What's the difference in that field between someone who's a top performer, a genius level performer, and someone who's average? And we're going to go, what I've done, well, not just me actually, a lot of people have been focused on this for a while. And so it is, we have these patterns, and that's what we're going to go through, is what are the patterns that you need to have that level of performance and to take it to the next level. And that's what I'm really curious about.
So the first thing you want to do is basically come to a decision, and that's an easy decision, which is an answer to the question, what is the context in which you'd like to transform your results? It might be your business and finances, could be relationships, could be patterns of emotion, could be a sporting endeavor, could be an instrument, anything like that, or there could be some different way you're dividing up in terms of context. So you just want to find out, hey, what's the context, the situation that I want different? That's the first step. And once you get a sense of that, you've got step one done. Following step one, you are going to go out and find somebody, a model of excellence, a model of genius, somebody that you really like and that you admire, who is getting the kind of results that you want to be able to get in that same context. And now, if you can find a live person, that is ideal. If not, though, there's not really no biggie. You can, video footage is amazing source of information and examples of what you want to be able to do. Books is once again amazing. Audio products, any of these mediums are amazing ways that you can begin to learn and develop these new models of thinking and new models of acting, new approaches in the context that you want to succeed in. So that's kind of step two if we're dividing up in terms of steps. Once you've done that, you've got that source of information, that source of examples, brilliant. Then what you want to do is step three is you want to just develop a state. It's just a sense of really enthusiasm to want to get a different result in that context. And it's more of an open-minded state, almost like a beginner's mind or the child's mind, that kind of openness to your experience, a sense of relaxation, enjoyment, and doing, just kind of practicing, that kind of sense. And without any kind of preconceived notions about how things are done or should be done or shouldn't be done, you just kind of go in there with this kind of childlike state of curiosity. Hey, I wonder what would happen if I did it in this way. I wonder what would happen if I applied this pattern. And then you go and do it, if that makes sense. So just kind of playing around with it, and yet with that kind of positive commitment to getting a result so that you apply yourself over a period of time. So that's kind of step three. Once you've done that, you just keep doing that until you'll notice feedback will come in. You'll start getting different results, exciting results. You'll start noticing you can do things and get results that you couldn't do yesterday or last week or last month, however it might be. So you keep doing that. Step four is you can exit. You can cease doing step three once you've got the outcome that you want. So if the outcome you want is how to generate passive income, so you can just choose to work or not, well, that's the outcome. Or if you want to be able to play an instrument to a certain standard, or if you want a certain kind of relationship in your life, or you want your finances in a certain way, or, a physical body with a certain, a certain feeling of health, vitality, and a certain look about it. Or if you have personal development goals or emotional goals, whatever the case is, you're ready to kind of exit when you can get the same result as the person that you admire and that you want to learn from. Once you can get the result they can get, and also you've added your own creative angle to it. Once you've got that, then I feel that you're good to go, and you kind of go free, go wild into the world, and you can kind of exit that sense of step free. And at that point, you're kind of in the process of developing your mastery and really succeeding at it, and you're developing new approaches, new ways of doing it, and you're innovating consistently, and you're in a different stratosphere of performance and a different realm of results, and that's what we're really going for. So thanks for taking the time to watch and listen. Please send in any questions, and happily get back to you and help out however I can. If you want to learn how to apply it, all those things, let me know.